Part 40. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 395. Stop, stop, stop. Sutingu interrupted this inexplicable topic. Store manager, I just want to ask for directions. Can't you just tell me how to get out? The old man glanced at Sutingu, spoke up and down, and said a lot of lines that were no less than tongue twisters. Left, 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 center, right, right, center, left, center, right, left. Sutingu froze on the spot for 2 seconds, then said quickly, Store manager, do you have a pen? I'll write it down. A pen, 2 gold coins. The old man reached under the counter and pulled out a pen holder with 7 or 8 quills in it. Sutingu blinked her big eyes, and after a while, she suddenly realized that this old man was so picky that he didn't even want to borrow a pen, so he could only buy it. Okay. Sutingu reluctantly took out 2 gold coins, threw them on the counter, and then reached out and pulled out a quill. The map was spread out and Sutingu turned to the back. She looked at the old man again. Store manager, can you say it again? Speak slower. The old man picked up 2 gold coins, put them in his mouth and bit them. After confirming that they were genuine, he softened his tone a bit and spoke again at a slower speed. After Sutingu wrote down the route, he rolled up the map and wanted to leave. But Sutingu hadn't found the private house at her destination yet, so she asked the old man casually. Anyway, she came all the way and asked everyone she saw. The old man looked calm. This is another price. Oh. Sutingu was about to turn around and leave, but stopped for a moment and looked at the old man in surprise. Manager, do you really know where this place is? Wow. Isn't this old man trying to cheat money? Believe it or not, the old man looked disdainful and began to fiddle with the bottles and jars on hand. Sutingu scratched his head and asked dubiously, then what's the price? 200 gold coins. Sutingu's eyes widened in surprise. 200 gold coins. She only had 1,000 gold coins given to her by Ao Pokang, which was enough for her to normally use on the human race's territory for half a year. But the old man suddenly opened his mouth and wanted to take away 1/5 of her gold coins. Can it be cheaper? I don't have so many gold coins. Sutingu tried to bargain. Unexpectedly, the old man snorted disdainfully, young girl, you still want to trick an old man like me? Old man, I have been running a shop for decades. Generally speaking, when I see people saying this kind of thing, they are probably rich, but they just care about money. For it. This, what should Sutingu say? No price, 200 gold coins. If you don't want to part with it, leave quickly. Don't delay my business. The old man waved his hand, not wanting to see Sutingu. No. There is not a single customer in this store, and it is still open in such a remote location. How can it still do business? After hearing what the old man said, Sutingu was speechless, but she gritted her teeth and nodded in agreement. Okay, 200 is 200, but if you lie to me, I will demolish your store later. Snort. The little fairy does what she says. If this old man is lying, don't blame her for not respecting the elderly. After all, he was the one who didn't care for the young in the first place. The old man looked unconcerned, obviously not taking Sutingu's threat seriously, and reported a list of routes. Sutingu took out a map and wrote down the route mentioned by the old man. After remembering it, Sutingu was really ready to leave this time, but then the old man spoke again. Hey, little girl, help me pick up the paper on the ground and put it on the shelf over there. Sutingu, Why is this old man so weird? Don't pick it up. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 396. Sutingu bent down and picked up the white paper with ghostly drawings on the ground without gentle movements. She couldn't understand what was drawn on it, but it was just as weird as the old man. Just as Sutinyu put the pile of papers in her arms on the shelf, the old man said, a group of people suddenly came outside the store, pointing at the store and talking. Is this here? That's right, it's right here. This is the black shop that the master said, we smashed it. A group of people rushed into the store and threw items on the ground when they saw them. Sutinyu stood aside with a confused look on his face. Wow, is this really a black shop? Sutinyu turned to look at the old man at the counter, and saw that the latter's face was calm, as if he was not surprised at all. He picked up a glass bottle filled with green liquid and threw it into the middle of the group of people. The glass bottle shattered instantly, and after the liquid inside flowed out, as soon as it came into contact with the air, it immediately vaporized into gas and gradually spread out. What is this? Ugh, it smells so bad. No, no, no. I can't do it anymore, I'm leaving first. This group of people came with great momentum and fled in a panic. As the only bystander, Sutinyu's eyes widened in surprise. Seeing that this strange gas was about to spread out, even Sutinyu's side was no exception. The old man picked up a slender black stick and just pointed it at the air in front of him, and a string of stars flashed from the tip. Then, as if the gas in the store was controlled, everything was sucked into the black stick in an orderly manner. This, magic. Seeing this magical scene, Sutinyu's big eyes flickered. Holy shit! Sutinyu knew that the world background of this round of dungeons was a Western-style world, but he never expected that it was still a Western fantasy world. What a fuss! The old man withdrew the magic wand with an indifferent expression. Little girl, don't block the door, leave quickly, don't delay my business. For it. Doing business? I'm afraid they're all people who come to cause trouble, right? Sutinyu complained silently. Little girl, do you want to learn magic? The old man saw Sutinyu's new thoughts at a glance and pointed it out directly. Hearing this, Sutinyu nodded immediately and blinked her big sincere eyes. This magic is so cool. The old man chuckled. You want to learn? It's a pity, you can't learn. Why? Sutinyu frowned. You are not of the right age. You are too old. If you want to learn now, it is already too late. Give up. The old man put the remaining bottles and cans on the counter. As soon as Sutinyu heard this, he wanted to hit someone. This old man is playing tricks on her. Huh, if you don't know how to teach, then you can't teach. Okay, anyway, it was a whim. Sutinyu was not too disappointed. He made a face at the old man, turned around and left this strange shop. The old man was not ashamed at all, and confidently ordered Sutinyu, hey, little girl, sweep up the broken glass on the ground. The broom is by the door. Sutinyu rolled his eyes and turned his head, sweeping the floor? Okay, I want 100 gold coins. Haha, can a little girl open her mouth like a lion? The old man was not angry, but smiled. I don't have any gold coins, but I can give you a message. Sutinyu blinked his big eyes. What's the news? Why was this old man so weird? Little girl, what you are looking for doesn't exist at all. Don't waste your time. The old man left such an inexplicable sentence and turned around and walked into a small room deeper in the store. Sutinyu stayed where he was, looking confused. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 397. In the end, Sutinyu collected the broken glass before leaving this strange shop. Following the route mentioned by the old man, Sutinyu really walked out of the alley in this area easily. However, Sutinyu was a little unsure of the route to the private house given by the old man. On the way, Sutinyu also asked some passers-by, but no one knew clearly. Why was the old man so sure? When they arrived at their destination, Sotignu froze on the spot with his mouth open. In front of me, there are rows of factories passing by, and wisps of thick smoke are floating into the sky and spreading. Near the factory, there is a river with dark water. Pipes extending from the factory lead into the river, discharging a steady stream of black water or industrial waste. Where are the private houses here? Sotignu was dumbfounded. Depend on. There are absolutely no clues to be found. The depressed Sotignu couldn't help but think of the last advice of the old man in the shop, and a subtle feeling of horror slowly arose in his heart. Could it be that the old man in the shop knew his intentions? That's not right. If the location he gave is correct, he should think that this area has become an industrial area and there is no use for Sotignu to come here. Sotignu wandered around the area several times, but as expected, found nothing. As noon approached, Sotignu's stomach growled. There was no other way, Sotignu could only find a restaurant to eat. The bread stored in the inventory has been consumed by Sotignu in the sea. When there were only a few pieces of bread and mineral water left, Sotignu stopped consuming them and went directly to catch small fish and shrimps to eat. Although, it does taste strange when eaten raw, but it is also quite nutritious. Now that they are on land, it is naturally impossible for Sotignu to consume the remaining bread and water. Sotignu found a restaurant that was doing reasonably well. He went in and ordered 2 dishes, 1 soup and 2 bowls of rice, which cost him 1 gold coin. Before the food was served, Sotignu pricked up his ears and secretly listened in on the conversations of the people around him. Many people were talking about the assassination of the princess a few days ago. Who is so bold as to assassinate the princess? I heard it wasn't an assassination attempt. It seemed that he was interested in the princess's beloved orb. Oh, the princess hasn't woken up yet, and those thieves are all men, they can't be against the princess. As he spoke, the elders at the table laughed tacitly. After waiting for a while, the food was served. Sotignu began to eat, while his ears continued to eavesdrop. At this time, on another table, I heard that today's bounty has been doubled to 5,000 gold coins. I almost want to pretend to be a thief to collect the reward. What the hell, I'm afraid I'm going to be chopped into pieces by the royal knights. Hey! Did you know? Master Elsa has revealed the list. What's going on? Master Elsa recommended herself and said she had a way to find that group of thieves. With Master Elsa taking action, we are absolutely sure of success. Master's prophecy is notoriously accurate. Sotignu took a look at the expressions of the people at the table and found that some of them were excited. However, their attitudes in and out of words seemed to respect Master Elsa very much. Suck, suck, suck. Sotignu finished the meal and drank the last bit of soup slowly. At this time, a group of royal knights suddenly broke in at the door of the hotel. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 398. Sotignu glanced at it and didn't pay attention. She just complained silently in her heart, why do I always see people blocking the door today? The sharp eyes of the leading royal knight glanced around and finally landed on Sotignu. He was holding a disc with a pointer in his hand. The arrow of the pointer suddenly pointed in the direction of Sotignu. The royal knight spoke sharply, there. With an order, all the royal knights surrounded Sotignu. Sotignu, Sotignu looked confused and had no idea what was happening. But seeing these royal knights looking like they were coming with bad intentions, Sotignu naturally couldn't sit still and wait for death. But Sotignu asked first, brother, are you making a mistake? The royal knight at the front hesitated for a moment when he heard this. The master predicted that there was a suspected thief in this hotel. When they came here, they found that the suspect was a little girl. The royal knight holding the disc was also puzzled, but out of trust in the master, he still ordered Sotignu to be captured. Get her. Seeing this, Sotinyu stopped arguing, and the direction of the door was blocked, but there was never more than one door to the hotel, and there would definitely be a back door. Without any further hesitation, Sotinyu immediately ran towards the back. Chase. Before the Royal Knights had time to block Sotinyu's retreat, the latter actually ran away. Sotinyu ignored the dull eyes of the store staff and went inside. Inside the hotel, apart from the kitchen, there is a courtyard where various food raw materials and tools are placed. The yard was surrounded by walls, which were about 2 meters high. Sotinyu glanced around randomly, and his eyes lit up when he saw neat wood placed on the edge of some corners. From behind, the voices of the Royal Knights came. "Stop! You can't escape." Sotinyu didn't care much. With the posture of these Royal Knights, who would be stupid enough to attack them if they stopped? Just when Sotinyu was about to approach the firewood pile, a light mask suddenly appeared in the sky above the yard. There was a little bird outside that just wanted to fly into the yard, but was blocked by the light shield and couldn't fly in no matter what. Seeing this scene, Sotinyu's eyes narrowed slightly. What's the situation? Humph, run away, keep running away. Behind him, the Royal Knights jeered. Sotinyu turned around and saw that the disc in the hand of the leading Royal Knight was glowing slightly. Could it be caused by this thing? The thought flashed through his mind. Sotinyu put his right hand behind his back and quietly took out the meteor rod from the inventory. Then, under the disdainful looks of the Royal Knights, they turned around, jumped on the firewood pile, and hit the edge of the light shield hard with the 10-centimeter meteor rod. Click. Spiderweb-like cracks appeared from the edge and continued to expand. In just a few seconds, a hole was opened in the mask, allowing Sotinyu to get out. Bye-bye. Sotinyu turned around and waved her little paw, and left the yard easily in front of the astonished Royal Knights. Quick! Go and chase! Outside, Sotinyu jumped out, and it happened to be a street. The pedestrians on the road glanced at Sotinyu with strange eyes. Sotinyu looked calm and quickly left the place. When the Royal Knights climbed over the wall and came out, Sotinyu was nowhere to be seen. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 399. Sotinyu ran away, but not completely. As long as Sotinyu stayed in one place for too long, Royal Knights would immediately come to capture her. After coming down several times, Sotinyu confirmed that the disc they were holding was the item that locked her whereabouts. So, after Sotinyu was discovered by the Royal Knights, he took advantage of them and destroyed the disc. After destroying the disc, Sotinyu waited for a long time at the new hiding spot. This time, no Royal Knights came to capture her. But why did these Royal Knights arrest her as soon as they met? Ignore the other people in the hotel? In order to clear up the confusion, Sotinyu captured a lone Royal Knight. Tell me, why are you arresting me? Sotinyu tied the Royal Knight's hands and feet, then stood up and asked. You are an outsider, how can you pretend to be innocent? This Royal Knight looked very tough. His eyes looking at Sotinyu were full of anger. If it weren't for his hands and feet being beaten by Sotinyu was tied up, fearing that he would jump up and challenge Sotinyu again. Huh? Sotinyu frowned in confusion. What kind of thief? She had just entered the city and had not had time to do anything. Why was she framed as a thief? This is so unfair. At least wait until she does it, ahem. Sotinyu quickly brought back his thoughts. Brother, did you admit the wrong person? I just came here today, how can I have time to do bad things? Impossible. The magic weapon given by the master cannot go wrong. You must be the thief who hurt Her Royal Highness. Moreover, if you are not a thief, how can you run away with a guilty conscience? Wait a moment. The master's magic weapon? The thief who harmed Her Royal Highness? Master refers to the Master Elsa that Sotinyu found out about in the hotel? So the thieves are most likely referring to other players seeking death? Although they are both players, she obviously didn't do anything. Why did you get involved with her? Sutinyu was puzzled and asked the royal knight again, I am a girl. Aren't those thieves who hurt the princess all men? You really got the wrong person. This. The royal knight hesitated for a moment, but he still said stubbornly, anyway, the magic weapon given by the master pointed out that it was you, so you must be the thief. You attacked the princess at night a few days ago, and you just saw it clearly your accomplice, maybe you were hiding in the dark without being discovered. For it. This seems to make sense. That's not right. Just a disc. Just judge her as an accomplice of the thieves. This is too outrageous. Alas, Sutinyu sighed slightly, knocked the royal knight unconscious, and left the hiding spot. It was getting dark, and Sutinyu was about to find a hotel to stay overnight, but found that there was a new wanted poster with his portrait posted on the busy street. Moreover, many people are already watching. Come on. Now, we can't stay in the hotel, and we can't even sleep on the street. Where are we going now? Sutinyu frowned, walked away from the street, and wandered into the alley. Then, Sutinyu discovered that there was no wanted notice posted in the remote alley. It is estimated that the wanted notice has not been posted for a long time. As long as Sutinyu avoids crowded places, it should not be too easy to be discovered. Seeing that the sun was about to set, Sutinyu scratched his head, thinking about sneaking into a private house, when his eyes suddenly lit up. She thought of a place that wasn't too bad. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 400. The sun was setting. The city instantly became polarized. The wealthy and bustling areas are still bustling with lights and traffic, and lights as bright as daylight illuminate half of the city. The remote poverty-stricken areas are dark, low-rise houses, disorderly pathways, domestic garbage can be seen everywhere, and various rodents and insects shuttle in the garbage. Let's go this way, I should have gone the wrong way this time. In the dark, Sutinyu held the map in front of her eyes, trying to see clearly the route marked on it. Hey, it's already dark now. What if the store manager doesn't live in the store but goes home? Sutinyu hesitated in her heart while following the route. Sutinyu's planned destination was the strange shop he entered during the day. The store manager didn't look like an ordinary person, and his store was in a very remote place, so the news that he was wanted would not reach here for a while. Huh? Is there a light? After walking for a long time on the night road, Sutinyu suddenly spotted a trace of light from an open flame around the corner. Sutinyu looked around and saw that the strange shop during the day was quietly located not far away. The door of the shop was ajar, and the light was exposed through the crack in the door. Sutinyu's face lit up with joy. Found it? Just after running a few steps, Sutinyu stopped again. Wait a minute, what's the reason? Smash the store. Hee hee. What a good reason. Anyway, she couldn't find the original private house at the location given by the store manager. Who knows whether it is true or false? If the little fairy says it is fake, then it is fake. After thinking about the reason, Sutinyu walked towards the door of the store without any guilt. However, when he was about to close the door, Sutinyu still stepped softly, then secretly stretched out his head and peeked into the door. But as a result, he ran into an old face full of wrinkles and very difficult to get along with. Wow, damn it! Sutinyu was really startled and jumped back a few steps. The old man in the store held an oil lamp in his right hand. He looked in the direction of Sutinyu and recognized the person. Little girl, you're still beating me up, right? He's sneaking around outside my store. I see. You are the ghost. Ahem. Sutinyu felt a little guilty and couldn't refute. He remembered his intention when he came and raised his chin slightly. Manager, the location you gave is definitely wrong. I can't even find a private house. You lied to me. Then what? The old man glanced at Sutingyu. What? Now you want to demolish my store? The old man's face was calm, without the slightest hint of fear. Sutingyu waved her hand. Ahem, I am kind and tolerant. I respect the old and love the young. I just want to be more generous and won't argue with you. No, old man, I really want you to care about it. Come on. The old man put down the oil lamp in his hand, his slightly hunched back gradually straightened, as if he was ready, waiting for Sutingyu to attack. Sutingyu. This old man, why is he so unconventional? Sutingyu suddenly sniffed, her eyes gradually turned red, and she wiped the corners of her eyes with her small hands. Grandpa, the store manager, my money was robbed and I have no money to stay in a hotel, so I hope you can take me in for a few days. After saying that, tears of grievance really appeared in Sutingyu's eyes, and her big eyes blinked, so pitiful. The play performed by Sutingyu caught the old man off guard. This little girl, the drama queen, is reincarnated. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 401. The old man put up a wooden sign outside to signify that the store was closed, and then closed the store door. He turned around and saw that Sutingyu had taken out a tent and placed it in the corner. Hey, manager, thank you. Sutingyu sat cross-legged on the floor outside the tent with a smile on her face. Don't touch my things. The old man glanced at her with a calm expression. Sutingyu nodded in agreement. Okay. After giving a warning, the old man ignored Sutingyu and walked straight to the small room in the store. Seeing that the person was gone, Sutingyu breathed a sigh of relief. Phew. It can be regarded as having a roof to rest on. Sutingyu climbed into the tent, lay down in a large position, then took out a set of sleeping bags and got in. What kind of master is it that makes her so embarrassed? Humph. Forget it, sleep. Sutingyu murmured, took out the stone tablet, and asked Dehui, who looked confused, to keep vigil in the tent and never get out. City Lord's mansion, council hall. A fat man put his hands on his hips and said with anger on his face, what's going on? There are so many of you, and you have the help of the master's magic weapon, why can't you catch even one thief? What use are you? This was our mistake. The captain of the Royal Knights stood in front of the fat man. He had been scolded all the time. He had a livid face and did not dare to refute a word. This fat man is the city lord of the city and a nobleman. He has great authority in the city and is almost a monolithic presence. Next to the city lord, stood a sharp-faced man in red robes. In his hand, he held a disc that had been split into two and had lost its magic power. The sharp-faced man studied it for a while, then raised his head and asked, how was this magical weapon destroyed? Master, the female thief found out that the disc could lock her, so she deliberately let us catch her once, and then. The more the knight captain continued, the more hesitant he was. After all, he had always taken the disc. He was in his hand, but now that the disc was destroyed, he had to shoulder the biggest responsibility. The city lord's eyes widened in surprise, with even more disdain and ridicule on his face. Female thief? Since she was caught by you, how could she escape? Is it possible that you, a group of big men, can't stand a little girl? She is a woman, but a few days ago, the thieves who attacked the princess were clearly a group of men. Now a woman suddenly appeared, and we couldn't react for a while. Huh, Elsa's face darkened when she heard this. Is this a disguised attempt to question his magical weapon? Knight Commander, you don't know something. In magic potion science, there is a magical potion formula that can change a person's physique, appearance, voice, etc. Will Elsa put away the disc, put her hands behind her back, and looked like an inscrutable appearance. The knight captain asked, "Master, are you saying that that woman might just be a man disguised as a woman? It's unbelievable that there is such a magical potion." The city lord marveled at this type of magical potion formula, with a dark light shining in his eyes. "It's very possible," Elsa nodded. "Your Excellency, City Lord, Knight Commander, I would like to ask you two to join forces in the next few days. One is to seal the city gate, and the other is to continue searching the city. And I, yesterday, gradually came up with the idea of treating Her Highness the Princess. I believe Her Highness the Princess will wake up soon. By then, if the two of you can catch the thief and have Her Highness deal with it, I believe Her Highness will be extremely happy." Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 402. The next day, Sutingyu was woken up by Dehui. When Dehui returned to the stone tablet, Sutingyu put the stone tablet back into the inventory and got out of the tent. Sutingyu had just stretched a little when he heard the door of the room inside opening. Sutingyu turned around and saw the old man slowly walking out of the house on crutches. After seeing the former, he said calmly, "Open the door and do business." "Oh, oh," Sutingyu responded, but she curled her lips inwardly. "Are you used to doing her bidding? Come on. The little fairy always respects the old and loves the young." Sutingyu opened the store door and took back the sign outside the door. "Go and clean up." As soon as Sutingyu entered the door, she heard the old man speak again. "Tisk tisk. The little fairy who lives under someone else's roof is so pitiful." Sutingyu silently shed a few crocodile tears in her heart, then turned around, picked up the broom, and started sweeping the floor. Sweeping the floor. It was one of the few household chores that Sutingyu knew how to do. After sweeping the floor, Sutingyu had nothing to do. When Sutingyu was idle, he watched the old man playing with several medicine bottles. Sutingyu stretched out her little finger, pointed at the next medicine, and asked, "Grandpa, store manager, what is in here? Can you use magic once you throw it out?" "This is a potion, a basic training course for mages," the old man explained quietly, while still moving. Sometimes, he would pour part of the liquid in one potion into another potion bottle. "By the way, Grandpa, the store manager, I have a question for you." Sutingyu rolled her eyes and her voice was soft. The old man asked without raising his head, "What's the problem? Who is Master Elsa? When I came here, I heard many people talking about this name." Sutingyu dragged his chin with his hands, opened his eyes wide, and looked at the potion that the old man was constantly mixing in his hand. "Elsa? What are you asking him for?" The old man stopped shaking the medicine bottle with his wrist, and his eyes darkened. Just curious." Sutingyu blinked his big eyes and gave a reason that was not a reason. The old man lowered his head again and continued to mix the potion, his voice a little colder, "I don't know." "Ah," Sutingyu was confused. Why did he feel that the store manager didn't tell the truth? Sutingyu thought about it for a few seconds, then skipped the topic and asked about something else. "Grandpa, the store manager, did you know that the princess encountered a thief a few days ago?" "Old man, everyone in the city knows." Sutingyu continued to ask, then do you know what the specific situation is? Did Her Royal Highness really lose an orb?" Although Sutingyu thought that the mermaid's orb would be obtained by the human princess, it sounded a bit ridiculous, but what if it happened? If it is really the mermaid's orb, then Sutingyu must find a way to confirm the identity of the thief and then get the orb back. "Have no idea." Sutingyu puffed his lips, not surprised by the answer. When the store manager couldn't ask anything else, Sutingyu stood up straight and prepared to continue looking for clues to the orb today. "Wait a minute. Her wanted warrant is still there. When I go out, I am afraid that I will be recognized by others." Sutingyu touched his little face, suddenly thought of something, and his eyes lit up slightly. "Grandpa, Store manager, do you have any masks here that can cover your face? Sutinyu gestured with his hands. What are you doing here? The old man didn't deny it immediately, indicating that there might actually be something similar to a mask in the store. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 403. Sutinyu's eyes rolled. Nothing, just one sentence, yes or no. No, the old man said firmly. That's okay. Sutinyu just asked. If not, he would have to think of another way. Today, Sutinyu is not going to find where Princess Neely lived. Instead, go meet the so-called Master Elsa for a while. Sutinyu was a little puzzled that the Royal Knights accurately found his hiding spot again and again yesterday. When she first arrived, she was a version of herself that Elsa shouldn't recognize. Previously, Sutinyu had also hypothesized that if the thief who attacked the human princess was really another player, would it be possible that because of some connection in identity, he would have identified himself as an accomplice of the thief and made himself so embarrassed? The technological and industrial levels of the human world in this round of copies are somewhat similar to the Western world before the 20th century in the real world. The development of science and technology has also appeared to be biased, not to yearn for the stars to fly in the sky, but to the underwater world. In addition, it is to deal with various scientific and technological means of ocean aliens. The humans in this world mainly rely on mysterious magic to compete with the ocean aliens. Sutinyu really couldn't figure out how he exposed his identity. Maybe it had something to do with the magic in this world. Wait until you find that Elsa. Maybe the truth will come out. Little girl, do you want to go out? The old man suddenly asked. Sutinyu rolled her eyes. Store manager, do you really think that I am an employee of the store? Of course I have to go out for something. The old man took out a bottle of potion and put it forward. Take it. Sutinyu blinked and came over. What is this? What you want? The old man pointed at the potion. The disguise potion can change the user's external conditions according to the user's thoughts, including appearance, body, voice, gender, and lasts for 5 hours. After hearing the old man's introduction, Sutinyu opened her mouth slightly in surprise. This is so cool. Sutinyu couldn't wait to get it in his hand. Does this cost money? Is it expensive? The moment Sutinyu took it into his hand, the panel popped up. Props, Grains Disguise Potion. Grade, Rare. Function, change the external image at will, valid for 5 hours. Can copies be brought out? Yes. Usage, disposable. Remarks, please do not YY casually, thank you. Want to give me money? Yes. The old man was about to agree. Seeing this, Sutinyu quickly stopped him. I know the store manager's grandpa is kind-hearted and generous, so he must have given it to me. Thank you grandpa. Grandpa, you are a very good person. I can send it to you. However, after you finish your work, you have to promise me something. What's the matter? Why don't you tell me now and I'll do it right away, Sutinyu muttered while holding the disguise potion carefully. If you don't agree, return the potion to me. Okay, but let's make a deal first. You can't go against my wishes or harm my interests. Although Sutinyu was grateful to the old man for giving her the disguise potion, she still had to be vigilant. Okay, you can go. The old man waved his hand and continued to prepare his own medicine. Sutinyu was a little greedy, and there were a lot of medicines, and he didn't know what magical effects they would have. Sutinyu decided to stay on Clay Island for a few more days, establish a good relationship with the store manager, and maybe give him some magical potions. Ahem, she was either greedy for the potion, or simply wanted to stay for a few days. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 404. After Sutinyu came out of the store, he looked around and saw no one was around, so he was about to take the disguise potion. It has been verified by the panel system, and it is still credible. You should not have diarrhea after drinking it. It must be fine. If something happens, we can only demolish the shop of the store manager grandpa. Well, what is it going to look like? This is a problem. Sutinyu is going to find Elsa now, and men and women are usually the latter, which makes it easier for people to relax their guard, so Sutinyu's gender doesn't need to change. However, the external conditions must be very different from the current self, so that Elsa will not be suspicious. A beautiful and fragrant figure suddenly flashed through Sutinyu's mind. Yes, Sutinyu took the disguise potion, and kept thinking of the beautiful Shan Yu, from her facial features, to her waist-length curly hair, and finally to her devilishly curved and exquisite figure. After the disguise was successful, Sutinyu felt that the originally loose sportswear on her body suddenly stretched a lot. Fortunately, this is a garment produced by panel system, and the size can be increased or reduced at will according to the user's body shape. If Sutinyu was wearing ordinary clothes, she would be a little afraid that her clothes would burst out in front of her. Then I am now a beautiful woman with a single feather. Sutinyu touched her current body, coughing, but did not dare to touch it for too long. After the disguise was completed, Sutinyu walked openly on the crowded street. From time to time when he saw his wanted notice, he pretended to be calm and turned his head and ignored it. Where could that Elsa be? Sutinyu paused, and suddenly thought of this question. The city covers a large area, and it would be unrealistic to search all over the place. Since this person is so famous, and if he is a high-profile person, it shouldn't be difficult to find out his whereabouts, right? Sutinyu walked into a clothing store and deliberately communicated with the staff in the store while buying clothes. With Sutinyu's current appearance, she could charm some ordinary men with just a little smile. She would answer everything she said honestly. Because of this, Sutinyu learned that Elsa was now living in the city lord's mansion and was treated as a distinguished guest. After getting the clue, Sutinyu first rented a room in a hotel and put on a random set of clothes he bought. The rest was thrown inside the house. After finishing it, Sutinyu set off in the direction of the city lord's mansion. After walking for about half an hour, the city lord's mansion was already in sight. The door to the city lord's mansion was wide open, but there were guards guarding the door, and all entrances and exits were checked. Sutinyu took out the prop hat, put it on his head, and then silently recited the password. After a second or two, Sutinyu's figure disappeared. The entrance to the city lord's mansion. Sutinyu swaggered into the open space in the middle, paying attention not to make a single sound during the process. After successfully entering, Sutinyu looked around. Wow, I met Master Elsa yesterday. No, you are so lucky. Tell me, is Master Elsa particularly handsome and tall? The direction of Elsa's residence was determined during the leisure chats between some maids or male servants in the city lord's mansion. By chance, Sutinyu met a pair of maids who were dedicated to delivering meals to Elsa, so he simply followed them.